Everybody, let's dive into our first story. Liam Payne. Do I have your attention, Directioners? Well, he got a lot off his chest about his One Direction days in a recent interview. He revealed that he and Louis Tomlinson, his former bandmate, hated each other in the beginning, and that he, to this day, dislikes Zayn Malik.
Whoa!
The drama, Elvira, I mean, I don't know how into boy band knowledge and trivia you are, but is any of this surprising or maybe off color for you?
First of all, I'm insulted. As a queer, this is definitely... Our resting place is pop culture, boy bands, absolutely. Deep
She has
knowledge.
a binder under her chair.
Right? Oh, let me relive. What I do love about this latest feud is that it helps people remember who Liam was.
Loves it. Loves
Right?
it.
Because it's not easy, right? To figure out, like, you
Which
know
one?
who Harry is.
Yes,
Because
obvious.
Harry was always, he had that je ne sais quoi, he had that zhuzh, you know?
Yeah.
I love
Yes.
that. And Zayn, of course, he split early so that he made his mark. And then with the other two, it was like, so this way
And
now,
there's
like,
even a
oh,
third.
that's
See,
who
you
it is.
totally forgot about the other.
There was another one?
Yeah, three others, but that's okay.
But when you're on the comedy scene, like, would you ever have to do a show where you're headlining or you keep on running the same circles and there's
I'm sorry, I only headline.
and there's somebody coming up after you or before you and you just can't stand them? Is this hard?
No,
I mean, I
it's
feel-
stand-up comedy. It's just it truly is dog eat dog. It is very much you're on your own and every person for themselves. I mean, that was when I was coming up. Now, of course, it seems more collegial, but I don't know if that's because I'm not as connected to the current generation, the current crop.
Right.
But you know, it is fun to think about if I had been in a troupe. When I'm with an improv troupe, that's when I can feel it. The sense of like,
Yes,
guys,
that's
can I
fun.
join your troupe so then we can talk smack about each other?
Yes. But that ensemble feeling is very different, and I think that troupe, even though it's assembled, there is there is no I in team when you're doing improv like that. I mean, everyone's got to rely on each other. Of
course.
Whereas this group, they're fake.
Thrown together.
Simon Cowell slapped them together on X Factor, much like Fifth Harmony on X Factor USA, and we all know how that turned out. It doesn't work well with all of these bands getting manufactured because they all came on the show as solo artists, and then they were forced together to be like, you want the fame?
But hear me out. Doesn't that, in a sense, mimic the real world? We don't have a choice with whom we work. Like, we got thrown together, our colleagues and everything, and I think it is sort of incumbent upon us to try to get along with people. That's part of the job.
But we knew we would be with other co-hosts. These people creatively thought they were going to be a solo singer.
Yeah, and then
Until they
we're
were
given a
put
situation
together.
where you guys have to work together.
Jess, what is
and
it?
they couldn't.
What are you trying to say?
Spill it, Jess.
Who would you like to talk to? Who's the Zayn?
I'm gonna
Was
save
that a
you.
snort?
You know what's interesting to me? That they were thrown together so you can kind of understand maybe that they wouldn't get along necessarily, different personalities. What's interesting to me is bands who chose to be together, who also hate each other.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think of a Van Halen, David Lee Roth years, they were not good. Eddie Van Halen has, basically said that he did not enjoy him. And David Lee Roth has said that he described them as crosstown adversaries who hated each other with a vengeance. You've got the Oasis, the brothers. They're
brothers.
ridiculously combative.
Yeah, that is just right.
And then Sting and Stuart Copeland from the Police, they famously hate each other. They got into a big fight. Sting ended up with a broken rib. Drama.
Wow.
But they created the most amazing albums. So it does beg that question of is there something about that kind of fiery passion, like in a
tension?
bad relationship,
Yeah.
that makes amazing music? I'm not suggesting that it's a good recipe, but it seemed to work.
I mean,
did.
Yeah, I mean, we're working on this show so far. I mean, we're going on 10 seasons next year,
There's
guys.
been no ribs broken.
No ribs
in our
broken,
group.
some heels busted, but I mean, that's nothing. But with our show, I don't know if it was a function of the fact that, all of us knew each other somewhat. I didn't know Jess at all.
I didn't know you
two
two at all, and I'd only heard of Lainey. Like, I'd met her once.
Yeah.
And read her blog, but I didn't know you guys.
Yeah, and
By
we-
reputation alone, that's what you're saying.
reputation
You
alone.
only knew each other
But
by
what the
reputation.
difference was, I don't know if everybody does this, but we did it consciously, is we made a pact I won't go into details, but we kind of all said we're in this together, ride or die to the end. So I think that's made a difference in our approach.
I do too.
Yeah.
And also think about this, like one of the reasons that it would be incumbent upon you to have that attitude is because they're always, you know, the world always expects a group of women together when there's a
Yes.
catfight begins. So it is kind of interesting that we are seeing, I don't know what you call it when dudes are smack talking each other. Is it a puppy fight?
Oh, I like it. Let's call it a puppy fight.
Yeah.
A puppy fight. Okay.